Okay guys, here we are with another deck recipe for my insect decks. What did I just say? Insect deck. And we are going to be showing it off, and you'll be surprised because there's been a total of, how many episodes? 6 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I didn't intend on recording the other two, but, you know, he wanted to duel. I know I owe like a lot of people a duel, something like that. Not really new people, just people I know in general. But you know, if you guys are interested and you want to duel or tag duel or something or show me something, don't be afraid to leave it down in the comment section or message me on Xbox or whatever. Also I'm looking into some computer programs to record the computer screen so I can show off some dev pro stuff too, but everything that I find is lags up my computer, so I might just wait till I get a new one. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, as you saw in the other two videos, it's my insect deck, and basically it's like an anti-meta insect. That's kind of weird to say since there's no Thunder Kings, but this basically keeps field control and you can beat down your opponent. So, no further ado, let's get into insects. First off, we have 4-star Ladybug of Doom. This card was debatable to put in, by the way, and basically it flips over and destroys all your opponent's level 4s. So, what decks does this really hurt? Well, it hurts anything like Assault Mode if they decide to attack first. It hurts anything that decides to go level 4 and just attack. If you're having a hard time dealing with those, this card would help you out a lot. There's only one because there's only some situations where you use this, but since its effect is pretty good, then, you know, why not? It's not really going to be attacking either, so don't suspect that. 2 Arsenal Bug. Now don't let the attack fool you, because if you have no other insects on the field, you lose 1,000 attack and defense. But it means your insects that you control, except for this one. So yeah. So what the deal with this is, you can swarm enough with these insects in here. He's not an insect. But anyways, these insects in here, and you will be able to keep them at 2,000 and whatever, but we'll show how you're going to swarm with these guys in a bit. We have, well, you can probably see it, but I'll go over it in a second. Now we have 2 Aztec P the Worm Warrior. I don't know, that's what I think it is. Anyways, you banish one or remove from play. I don't know. I'm just gonna say banish, whatever. You can banish. No, you banish one to summon insect to summon this, which most likely is whatever in the grave, 4-star, arsenal. You want to keep chainsaws and sword beetles. Maybe you have golden ladybugs in the grave, howling insects, man eaters. I don't know. Up to you guys, but anyways, yeah, you bring this out, and if it does damage, your opponent mills a card from the top of their deck. Kinda like Goblin Zombie, but Goblin Zombie's a little better, except in attack wise. 2 Chainsaw Insects. Yes, it does have the downside of your opponent draws a card, but it has 2,400 attack nonetheless, so it's really good for beating down your opponent if you use this wisely. 2 Crossword Beetles. Like the Arsenal, you need another insect for its effect, and it does piercing damage. And it's 1,800 attack, so it pretty much does a lot of good things for you. 2 Doom Dozer, the main beat stick of them all. You banish 2 insects, and you can special summon this. And if this does damage, it mills a card from the top deck, but you're mostly in for the attack point of 2,800. This can crash into Goyos, crash into red dragon, not red dragons, red eyes, run over Stardust. Can't run over Stardust Assault though, sad thing. But if you use any of the cards in a side deck, or even if you have Burden on the field, which is in this deck, then it'll help you out. On another note, I don't know what else to say about it. It's basically to beat down your opponent for any big things they bring out. Like, the only things that get over this are Blue Eyes. And you guys are gonna bring up like 20 million cards now. Blue Eyes, red. I'm gonna say the common ones you'll see. Blue Eyes, Red Dragon, and I don't mean by effect. I mean by attacking over it. If you guys are about to say Demise or something. Shinato, I don't really see that actually. Neo Air Knight Parshaft, whatever. You know, you get the point. But this runs over like most of the cards in the game. So yeah. Also, it's been used for Demise OTKs. 2 Golden Ladybugs. You gain every time during your standby phase, you can reveal the card and you gain 500. And of course, it still has to remain revealed, which if you have one card is really bad because then they're like, okay, I know what your cards are now. But if you have a bunch of cards, you can basically gain 1,000 each turn, and you don't even have to have any solemn wishes on the field for draws. You can just keep doing this, and there's barely anything they can do. And the reason you don't play 3 is because if you draw into these, they could be good, but they're not really great. Also, you can set them for defense against things, so it's a win-win situation, unlike Solemn Wishes, where I get it, you draw a card and you gain 500, but this card is more helpful, in my opinion. Depending on the deck, though. If it's Exodia, yeah, Solemn Wishes, but this situation, not really. For Solemn Wishes. Anyways, 2 Howling Insects. I didn't really feel a need for 3. So when this is destroyed by battle, you bring out something with 1500 or less attack. That's an insect, of course. So what are your choices? What is the main things I usually go for? Alright, let's see. You don't want to go for a Golden Ladybug, by the way. So it has to have exactly 1500 or less attack. Well, you don't want Man Eater. You can go for Shiny. You can go for Locust. You don't want to go for 4-star. I guess it's only Shiny and Locust. What my intention with this is you get this destroyed, then you can bring out Locust and blow up something in the back row, or bring out Shiny Black Sea and destroy it and destroy a Synchro something. I'll get into that in a second. And you bring out Locust, blow out the back row, and then you can use Crush Guard on Locust if they try to do anything, which is really, really good. You might think, well, there's no really point because you only have 2 targets. Well, Howling Insect is their target, but 2 targets I usually go for. But in the long run, it's not that bad. And I forgot to put a Scarabs in the extra deck. Or side deck, my bad. We'll put that in there in a second. Yeah, we'll put that in there in a second. So anyways, yeah, those are the main ones. Actually, let's put that in there now, because then I'll forget and I won't like it. Put that in the trunk. Reset, Surge, Type, Force, Insect. Insect. Back. Oh, there it is. Put some Scarabs in there. Okay. You didn't see that. Okay, so that basically does it for him. Man-Eater Bugs. This gets rid of those troublesome cards that you can't get over. If your opponent attacks this, then it flips over and destroys a monster. You have to keep in mind you have to destroy a monster. The downside of anything that's like man-eater, like snow man-eater, noble, well, I don't know if nobleman is, but yeah, man-eater bug or whatever. So yeah, you can flip it and destroy something. It's pretty simple how this card works. It's like the first generation of cards. So one Plague Spitter, he works because I have card destruction, and even if he's in the grave, it doesn't matter. Also, I can synchro with any of these low level ones, like 3 to make Cataster, or 3, and he's obviously a 2 to make Cataster, bring him back, make Black Rose, combine these two, make Arm, make Android, Cataster, whatever, Bryanak or Yugioh, you know, just the good stuff. I don't play too many high level things, so you don't have to run it into like the problem of I don't have a card to play. So yeah, and if you don't know the effect, there it is. I don't really need to go over its effect though. Shiny Black Sea, I actually did not like this card at all, surprisingly. But in this game actually helps, because if it's in the grave, you can activate its effect and destroy a synchro on the field of your opponent's course. So there's really nothing your opponent can do to stop this card, because it doesn't target, right? I don't know. So Stardust will negate it, so you can't use it on Stardust. What does that leave you? They make Bryanak, blow it up. Yugioh, blow it up. What is this? Banish it? Yeah. Yeah, you see, it says banish, and another one said remove. So I don't get what the difference is, but anyways. And this is speed spell 2, apparently. Oh, that's where it tells you. I was wondering where that was. Anyways, so, they make Bryanak, blow it up. If they make Black Rose and they don't nuke the field, don't worry about it. But Bryanak, blow it up. Yugioh, blow it up. Red Dragon Arching, blow it up. Cataster, blow it up. Magical Android, blow it up. If I really had to go through every synchro that will possibly be made and say blow it up, then there's something very wrong with people watching this. Just saying. Anyways, you get the point. Except for Stardust, this card blows up any synchro, and it is really good. If your opponent's like, okay, I'm gonna attack you, Yugioh Guardian, let me synchro these two. Shiny Black Sea, blow it up. Yeah, and it's so easy to get out, and you don't care to set it because if they destroy it, they're gonna not. If they see this card in the grave, they're not most likely gonna synchro because they're like, nope, I'm not dealing with that. And if they don't synchro, then most of the time they're gonna get overrun with these bugs and not be able to get over stuff I have. So yeah, Shiny Black Sea. Only one because 3 won't fit even if I wanted it to. 2, it might be okay, but 3 is way too much. Especially since it doesn't have great attack and defense. Alright, 2 Swarm of Locust. Let's see. So, it has the ability to flip itself face down once per turn. So, if it flips it, if you have it face up, you flip it face down, then you flip it back up, you can't flip it back face down, because you already used the effect to flip it face down again. It's not a continuously flip everything thing. And apparently it's speed spell 1. So anyways, what it does is when it's flip summoned, which means you have to turn it from face down defense to face up attack, and it destroys the spell and trap. Now, you might be thinking, well, my opponent can just destroy this really easily and yada yada. Well, that's why you have Howling Insect. Howling Insect, you get this. You flip this face down, and you flip this back up, blow back row, and use Crush Card. Of course, it really doesn't matter if they destroy Locust, because Locust isn't your main card. It's just in there to crush card your opponent and blow up their back row. And if they get rid of it, it's fine, because they really can't do too much. Oh, what am I trying to say? They can't really recover those spells and traps as much as they can recover monsters, so yeah. Keep in mind, as you saw, I put a Scarabs in there. If you prefer Scarabs, you can go ahead, but I just like Locust a little better because I don't like back row as much. And this is one of the reasons why I don't have Heavy Storm in here. One brain control, take something of your opponent's, and most likely I had it in there for Plague Spreader. Yeah. Burden the Mighty, we're playing 1. You can get away with 2, that's not a problem. But I should probably take out 1 Solidarity and put a Burden inside that. Anyways, yeah. Anyway, so what this does is your opponent loses attack, 100 attack for each level. So if it's level 12, they lose 1200, 1100, 1000, whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. And with this card on the field, they can't really get over most of these cards. The weak ones, of course, but most of them they can't. So, card destruction, get rid of your hand, which opens place for Aztec and Doom Dozers and Plague Spreader and especially Shiny Black Seas. Trunade turns spells and traps in the hand. I have it because of all the traps and continuous spells. If you don't like Trunade, you can switch out for Heavy Storm. I just have it so I don't blow up anything important. Monster Reborn is obvious, we'll have this. Bring back something with the grave. And with your main destruction, things like Man-Eater Bugs, Doom Dozers getting over stuff, Shiny Black Seas blowing up stuff, 4-star, you have a lot of targets probably after, by the time you get this. If you don't, if you draw it first turn, don't worry. It's still really good to have in here. In any deck, actually. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, because the backward destruction is good. As you notice, there's no bait doll. I really don't care about the card at the moment. 1 Pot of Avarice. Return 5 and draw 2. Mostly return Man-Eater Bugs. Leave Shiny Black Sea in the grave. Locust maybe. 4-star, yeah. Doom Dozers. Aztec. If you really need a draw, and this is in the grave, I guess you can do Golden Ladybugs. But mostly the flip effect stuff. And maybe Plague, because Plague wouldn't mind going back to the deck either. Up to you what you think. 1 Smashing Ground for more destruction. This is debatable. You can play Fissure, Lightning Vortex, either one of those. But I have this in there. 1 Swords of Revealing Light to prevent your opponent from attacking. 2 Verdant Sanctuary. I actually have to go over this. So, what it does is you have to have a face-up insect, and when it's destroyed, you bring out another one with the same level. So, what you can do is they destroy Chainsaw, you bring out another Chainsaw. If they destroy Chainsaw again, just bring out Cross Sword, bring out another Cross Sword, or in the case of Howling Insect, would search out Howling Insect, and you can bring out with Verdant, you can bring out Swarm of Locusts, don't bring out anything that has flip effects though, because you won't get your ability to flip it face down unless you're switching out some of my cards for a Book of Eclipse or a Book of Moon, which wouldn't be bad, but I have no room for it. Actually, if I took out Burden, I could. But, there's a lot of cards I want to add to the side deck, but, which I might take out Solidarity. 2 Compulse, return something to my hand, which is actually pretty good for this because you can bounce back your flip effects and set them again if you get Heavy Storm for whatever reason. Crush card, there's the other version of it. Anything 1500 or more attack that your opponent controls or in hand or they draw will get destroyed. So you have Locust, and you have Plague, and you have ways of getting them out. One Mirror Force, destroy every spell or monster on the field that has an attack. One Solemn, negate something, whatever. Trap Stun, negate traps if you're going for OTK or if your opponent's trying to do something to you. And here's the main Swarming card. Ultimate Offering. First summon, then activate this, then summon a bunch of stuff. Or if it's your opponent's battle phase and they can probably game you, you can do this, and you can summon during their battle phase, of course, if you use Ultimate Offering. So you can get Man-Eater Bugs, put a Shiny Black Seed if you care, I don't really. They have level 4s, might as well just set Ladybug. You know, all the good stuff. Or if you're about to attack, summon 2 Chainsaws and bring out Doom Dozers, bring out Cross Sword. You know, this card is really kind of needed in here, but not needed enough where I'll play 2 of them. This card is only seen in gadgets and, well, this one at the moment. And before you say, well, I use it in this deck, I use it in Warriors, I'm talking about mainly used, like gadgets and probably Warriors have been known to use this card a lot. I mean, if you use a card, great, but this is where you mostly see the cards. That's the deck, and okay, I added some cards. So here's Army Arm, blah blah blah. Now we get to these two. I just added these two before I started this video. You might look at the deck and realize, one, there's no insect tuner that is in here. Wait, is there an insect tuner? Hold on, I have to look at something. Filter type. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna admit I'm wrong, but pretty sure it's not an insect tuner. No, there's not. Okay. Anyways, so you might ask why these two aren't here. Well, there's a level 5 because you can get him out by synchroing with. It has to be, or using Howling Insect. You can Barkions with Chainsaws and Aztec, and these cards are really good. This one you mill 2 to negate a spell or trap, or no, a spell, and you banish 2 to negate a trap. Now, these two are in here because of the side deck. Alright, so we have 2 dimensional prisons for attacks. Oh, I only have 2 solidarities. Okay. 2 dark bribes, because if you need more negation, there you go. 2 solidarities, so if you need more attack boosts, there you have it. You might think, well, it won't work because you have Plague Spreader in there. Plague Spreader can be banished, so if he's leaves the field after he activates his effect to get out of the grave, so it opens up Solidarity again. So 2 solidarities. 3, I never like to play 3. 2 I think is decent. You don't need to use this during tag duels, so I don't see why you would have this in the deck if you're not using it during tag duels. So if your opponent or your partner is playing insects, you can go right ahead. And I'm surprised I even built a side deck for this. Okay, so this one is a little interesting. You might have seen this in Insectors in the main game, but actually what this does for you is you tribute 1 and you special summon an insect with a level that's 1 higher than the one you tributed. Now, what does that mean for you? That means if you put it in instead of burden, I guess, you can tribute this and this and these, and these. Not this, because you don't want man-eater bugs. But this. So if you use the insect imitation, you can get rid of this, and get chainsaws, get cross swords, get howling insects, locusts, arsenals, whatever you feel like, you know. It's up to you to decide how you want to use this. But this card seems pretty good. As I said, I don't have enough room in the side deck. If the side deck was like 30 cards, I wouldn't mind. But 15 is a little low for a side deck, so yeah, I had to deal with this. 2 insect barriers. As you can see, the DNA surgeries over there. And if your opponent's playing insects, I guess this will help, but there's another reasoning for it. 1 Goki pawn, whatever. I had 2, but I took 1 out. And what it does is, if it's destroyed by battle, you can bring an insect to your hand that's 1500 or less. And that means you can get Locust, 4-star, what else is there? Golden Ladybugs is a good option. Howling Insects, and Man-Eater Bugs, and Shiny Black Sea. Those are all your choices in here. You know, it's not really that great, because I don't really care to have them in my hand. So, you know. 1 Eradicating Aerosol. I have 1 because of the next card, and I don't care to blow up my own monsters every single time. So I'm not playing 3, 2 is fine, or 1 is fine in here. If you want 2, you can. Now DNA Surgery, as you can read, it's a continuous trap, that's why I don't have it in the main deck. And if you activate it, every monster on the field has to become a type, which you'd call insect. Insect will allow you to use this, and allow you to use this so your opponent can't attack. But since it is a continuous trap, I don't find it very liable due to the fact of Heavy Storm. Naturia Cosmo Beat I put in here because it's a level 2 Earth Tuner, and that's why I put the other Naturias in there. And I could put Fruit Fly in the deck, couldn't I? Huh. Interesting. Anyways, no, we're not doing that. If you want to, go ahead, but it might be a little better than Burden, actually. But so your opponent summons, you can bring this card out, and this allows you to synchro with the other stuff to get Barkion and Feast. 1 Swarm of Scarabs if you want to replace Locust, but keep in mind, and if you didn't know, 500,000 defense and 1,500, so their attack and defense is flipped. The one with less attack destroys monsters, the one with more attack destroys spells and traps. Fair trade-off, actually. And it has the same flip effect thing as the Locust and destroy opponent's monster, and that's pretty much it. I know there's like a bunch of other cards I could have used in the side deck. I don't really know, but I think this is a good basic one, I guess, because everyone has Locust or Scarabs from the starter deck, and none of these are really in the starter deck other than Scarabs, so yeah, whatever. So that is the deck, guys, and I know it's not one of my greatest, but it's more of a slower deck, and it does in fact stop a lot of things. I battled anti-meta who is using Royal Oppression against this, which you'd think would stop this, but actually really didn't stop me too much. I didn't win the duel, but it really didn't stop me. I could bring out whatever I felt like, and my opponent really didn't have a say to do about it. So, yeah. So, what do I think about this deck? It could be better, it could be worse. I give it A 7 out of 10, maybe 8. I don't know. I'm just comparing it to how I play with it, because I really haven't lost with this deck other than the one video you saw and the one loss I talked about. Sorry about that. And yeah, so it's not really a losing deck, but it's not really the best competitive of all decks. So, as always, I get to tell you guys the next deck because it has been requested. The next deck is in fact going to be Allied Justice, because Mr. I don't remember exactly what he wants to be called, but yeah, if you want to see, go ahead and look at the other deck. But yeah, he wants a Allied Justice deck, so we're gonna watch me fail at making one, and then we're gonna watch me succeed at making it, because then I'm gonna realize how to make Allied Justice. So yeah, remember, go ahead and leave any thoughts about the deck and anything about what you want to see next. Keep in mind, it doesn't always have to be deck recipes. You can put requests for let's plays and stuff, as someone did, because they want me. There's like 2 people who want to do Resident Evil 5 apparently. So yeah. So yeah, go ahead and leave your request in comments section below, and I'll catch you guys next time after I put the super remote.